Hey, welcome everyone to our Conversations for a Critical Faith, conversations after the sermon that gives us an opportunity to dive into some of the things we talk about during the sermon. So learn a little bit more, think a little bit more deeply, and we'll see where it takes us. So joining me is Nancy O'Brien. She's part of our online ministry, and she's been wonderful to lead these interviews every week. So Nancy, welcome.
Oh, good morning, Sue. I always enjoy this time together. And I'm also pleased to know that you took a few days for you last week.
I took my own advice to stop, breathe, and trust that all would be okay if I took some time off.
Good for you. And thank you for modeling the desired behavior. So I'm excited to kind of dig into this topic as we continue to be kind of in the Lent season. You have been inviting us to stop, breathe, and trust. So I love one of your stories that you're sharing that somebody gave up worry for Lent. So I think where you're heading in this message today is that there's actually another spiritual practice you're inviting us to step into. Like instead of like hanging on and hoarding and holding on to, right? Letting go, and not just about the tangible, right? But the intangible. Like, what would happen if I gave up worry? So talk about this practice of maybe giving, the tangible and the intangible to kind of step into worry.
Yeah, and both are important. The intangible, like giving up worry, giving up being afraid, reminds us, when we make that conscious choice, it reminds us that we actually get to choose our own feelings. Now, I recognize that for people who've been through trauma, people who might be dealing with PTSD and, very traumatic events in their life, what I'm saying may not apply to them. They're in a unique situation. But for those of us who aren't being triggered by those things, we actually have more control over our feelings than we acknowledge. You have kind of that first initial moment where the feeling kicks in. And I don't think we have any control over that. Science has not indicated that we can completely stop feeling, and we don't want to, because sometimes we need to pay attention to those feelings. But we have shown that once you notice what a feeling is, you can make a choice whether you want to own that or give it up.
Of life is always happening for us rather than to us. What do you make of that kind of shift, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, just the language itself, when something's happening to me, I'm a victim. When something's happening for me, I have an opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us at First Presbyterian Church, where faith is nurtured, curiosity encouraged, diversity welcomed, and all are loved. Find out more about us at fpclincoln.org.